This is the fourth explanation video in which I would like to show you why the electromagnetic stimulation in the LdreamM headset is absolutely safe. As we know, we live in a constantly changing electromagnetic field here on the Earth. These changes are caused by the sun, by the solar activity. On this graph, you can see the Earth and the electromagnetic field around the Earth and the sun. And you can see the effect of the sun is, in this case, very low because the activity of the sun is low. But the sun is not quiet always. Sometimes it has so-called solar flares, as you can see here, which means that it has a lot of energy which was thrown away from the sun. And this is a kind of electromagnetic energy which, when reaches the Earth electromagnetic field, it causes a lot of disturbances, a lot of changes and movements in the electromagnetic fields around the Earth. And our brain can sense them. The solar activity is cyclical, like everything in the nature. There are different cycles. There are daily cycles, monthly, yearly cycles. There is even an 11-year cycle, which you can see on this graph. As you see, this graph goes from 1830 till today. And as you can see, these cycles have mins and max, min, max, min, max, min, max. And it changes regularly. Approximately the cycle is 11 years. In this graph, you can see the last two 11-year cycle of the solar activity. Let's take a look at the last one. Very interesting to note that the film Inception was released at this year, and after that you can see a boom, not because of the film of course, but it was a kind of preparation for this time, and people started having lucid dreams more and more, and they have seen this in the film, for example, and they started to learning this phenomenon. They wanted to know more and more about the lucid dreams. People even wanted to have some kind of gadgets which can induce lucid dreams. And if you remember, in these years, especially in this year 2014, was a big bomb, and this year was released, or at least was launched, some Kickstarter projects about lucid dreaming, about the induction of the lucid dreams. And after that, we went down. Right now we are here, and now we are on the bottom of the process. Bottom, and it means that the solar activity is very low. People are not interested in this phenomenon. But using this graph, we know that in the coming 1, 2 years, 3 years, another bomb like this will happen, and the interest of the lucid dreaming will rise again. Why this long introduction was so important? As we could see, the solar activity affects our brain, affects to our interest, affects to the number of lucid dreams. So first we have to understand is there any shorter cycles of the solar activity, and if so, how can we use them? And after that, the next question, how can we stimulate our brain using similar effects what the sun causes to our brain. The LdreamM headset is capable to do both the research and the stimulation. In the statistics window, we can see the solar activity graph right here. These are objectively measured values. They were measured by NASA, and the LdreamM headset's application downloads them from the NASA's homepage. And here we can see the consciousness level during sleeping. We can see that when the solar activity was high, we had much higher consciousness level. And even after that, actually it was the stimulation from the sun, our consciousness level was higher. And when the dream remembering and the intuition level were high as well, then we have lucid dreams. And again, here we had a higher solar activity. So, the LdreamM headset can measure the consciousness level, and using this information, it knows exactly when we should stimulate our brain using the magnetic stimulation for raising our consciousness level during sleeping. Here was one cycle, very good, with high amplitudes because of the solar activity. But in this cycle we had a much lower amplitude. Here again was a much stronger solar activity, and we had again a much higher consciousness level during sleeping. So the LdreamM headset knows these cycles. It measures the cycles of the user, it knows the solar activity, and using this information, it knows when is the correct time to use the stimuli. And using the stimuli, our consciousness level can be always as high as like in this way or in this way. So the sun's changing electromagnetic field causes changes into the Earth magnetic field, and this way causes changes into our consciousness level. If we know those cycles, those natural cycles which occur in solar activity, which occurs in our consciousness level, then we simply can affect to these processes using a very, very little, very tiny energy. And the LdreamM headset knows all of these cycles, and it has the electromagnetic coils which can change the electromagnetic field around our brain. But these changes are really very, very little. They never exceed the normal changes in the electromagnetic fields caused by the sun. So this is a natural level of influence, but the main point is that we know when apply these electromagnetic stimuli. This is the main point. So the electromagnetic stimulation of the LdreamM headset is absolutely safe and very useful. Thank you.